Hello, hello. Welcome back to Awakening to Your Story TV, the place to learn, get inspired, and be supported with heart centered solutions for your everyday life. I am Alicia Hartzell, and today we are talking about taking back Valentine's Day. So, when Valentine's Day feels hard or challenging or disappointing, I want today's video to remind you that you have the power to take it back. You have the power to make it be whatever it is you want to be. So, if you're single and you feel FOMO, if you are with someone and they're disappointing you, if you are feeling a little extra tender this holiday season, I totally get it. If you just want to know more about the holiday and you feel like you want to activate more love in your life, it's all for you today. um, Now, as always, there is a blog that is directly linked to this topic today. So if you go over to awakeningtoyourstory.com, you can read more, have a ton more inspirational stuff over there too. The link will be in the description of this video. If you have questions along the way, feel free to put them right on in. Okay, so taking back Valentine's Day, it can be anything that you want it to be. We're going to kind of go at it today from a very practical standpoint. So often, I think the work that we do in these videos and the work that I do on Awakening to Your Stories platforms is really heart centered and it's ooey gooey and it feels so yummy. But because the day itself is that, I wanted to take a very practical approach and talk to you about the history of Valentine's Day and also the kind of biological chemical thing that happens in your brain when you are surrounded with love, which is technically what Valentine's Day is all about. And so if you're not getting those things, you have the power to, and that's why I'm going about it so practically today. Okay, so the sappy Hallmark card drenched balloon floating holiday that Valentine's Day has turned into did not start that way. Some of the first historical records of Valentine's Day can be linked to ancient Rome. Emperor Caesar II, Claudius II, was said to have actually killed multiple men named Valentine on February 14th in different years. Now, those executions were to try to help build him up because he was so fear based. But what's interesting is what happened on the other side of that fear was this kind of evolution of this idea of love and possibility. So the first man who died, Valentine, was he was actually marrying people in secret because Claudius had outlawed it. Now, he outlawed marriage and engagement because he was trying to build up his army, and he couldn't do that because people were getting married and having families, and they didn't want to join the army. And so he just outlawed the whole thing. And Valentine came in and was like, "No, I'm gonna keep love going." And he was marrying people in secret. And when he was caught, he was sentenced to death and in a very public, brutal way executed. And the two other Valentines that we know for sure that died at the hands of Claudius were a Roman priest and a bishop from what is now Italy. And so it was actually the Catholic Church that came in and wanted to kind of celebrate their martyrdom and created St. Valentine's Day to kind of hold up a victory over all these hardships, right? So if you think about that for a second, Valentine's Day actually started to celebrate people who had been murdered for the sake of fear, right? Which is so fascinating to me. It's such a interesting twist the way that it went down. Now, Valentine's Day came to the New World, and eventually it started to change. And with the Industrial Revolution, factories started manufacturing cards. And by 1913, Hallmark, which was based out of Kansas City, started really mass producing cards. And that's when they started going into like schools and kids were doing it. And it was a big kind of production along the way. And I am here to tell you that if a Catholic church and a paper company can change the direction or create a holiday, then you can have the power to change it too. And actually, that is what happened in 2010 on a popular TV show. Amy Poehler's character in Parks and Recreation reinvented Valentine's Day by creating Galentine's Day, which I believe was the day before the day before Valentine's Day. And it was a day to celebrate all your gal pals. And it really took off and people still celebrate it today. So you have the power to make Valentine's Day whatever you want it to be, right? So now in my early 20s, I had one of my dearest, closest friends rebrand the day completely. Her husband was a total dope about Valentine's Day, and she was always disappointed. I was single, her daughter was single, and she's like, you know what? Screw this. She's like, I am going to create National Cherry Pie Eating Day. And that's what we celebrated instead of Valentine's Day. We would bake cherry pies, and after dinner, we'd have a delicious dinner, laughter, fun, joy. And we'd bake the cherry pies and we'd cut them up and we'd get really pretty plates and put it on there and we'd celebrate. We would just have so much fun. And it was a way of taking back Valentine's Day, taking all the expectations off, completely rebranding it, but still keeping that celebration and that joy and that love and all the things that felt really good and happy about the day, right? Now, today, I love celebrating Valentine's Day, and I often refer to it as the day o' love, which is all part of the season of love. And, if you've been with me here before, you know that I am all about heart centered solutions, bringing you back to your heart, feeling the way, feeling your way through life through that filter of that heart centered connection you have with yourself. And so the holiday just seems apropos to me. And in addition, hearts have become kind of like my talisman. I have those divine wings of love in the shapes of hearts ever since my grandfather passed away, and then even more after my grandmother passed away. And so this season of love just feels so magical to me. But it's because I've redefined it for myself. I've put my own parameters around what it means, and I've focused so intently there that I've really made it my own, right? Now, if my husband were to rebrand Valentine's Day, he would want it to be the day of chocolate. He actually this year decided that that's all he really cares about. Like, please just get me lots of chocolate. He'd have the day of chocolate, and that would be how he would rebrand it. But the reality is, it can be anything that you want it to be. And it doesn't have to have all those negative, disappointing things attached to it. Valentine's Day is going to be exactly what you focus on. It's going to be exactly what you put your attention to, right? So there are lots of wonderful things and lots of negative things. And if you focus on those challenging things, it will be challenging. So let's just call them out as they are. Negative parts of Valentine's Day are being disappointed because other people are not meeting your expectations, feeling excluded because you don't have someone special in your life, feeling like you've missed the mark somehow and you're not getting the love that you want. All those things can rear their ugly heads at this time of year, right? Well, if you focus your attention there, you're going to experience that. If you focus on feeling left out, you will absolutely feel left out. If you focus on feeling like you're not enough, your Valentine's Day will end up having that energy woven in it. If you feel like it's a stupid holiday and you're focused on all the stupid things and you feel like it's stupid because of all of the missed marks that you've been carrying around with you, all the disappointment from experiences before, whatever it is, if you focus on that stupid feeling holiday because of all those old things, you're doomed to repeat it. You're doomed to carry that with you into another day. And it doesn't have to be that way, right? So let's call out the positive things: expressing love, creativity, um, being able to create moments with people that you love of joy. All of those are super positive. I mean, think back to when you were a kid, like drawing and creating, and it was a fun activity to share with other people. It can be that way now if you wanted to. If you focus your attention on the joy of creating and experiencing and expressing yourself, then that is what you're going to get. If you focus your attention on appreciation and gratitude and seeing all the things that are right, then that's going to be the way your day filters out, right? And if you focus on how full your own cup is, and then you take that energy out into the world, it's going to be a overflowing of love kind of day, right? Now, all that's true on Valentine's Day, but it's all true on any other day of the week. Does that make sense? We're focused on Valentine's Day because it's a holiday that kind of pricks people a little bit. But the reality is that energy that you focus on, wherever you put your attention, is what you're going to create, no matter what day of the week it is, no matter what holiday, no matter what you're experiencing, right? So let's focus on some positive areas and kind of go into the biology behind all those feel good things, because the reality is, and the science says, that it's as effective to give love as it is to receive love. So even if you're not getting the things that you want, the energy or attention you want on Valentine's Day, whether it's because the other person doesn't have the capacity or because you don't have another person there, whatever it may be, it is as powerful to give as it is to receive, which means the flood of chemicals in your brain that happens when you receive also happens when you give. And so I want you to really think about that in contrast to carrying around the weight of being disappointed, because it's a choice. You don't have to be disappointed just because it doesn't look a certain way. So let's get into that, the brain chemistry of it all, because it is fascinating to me just how much power you have to make yourself feel good, whether it's on Valentine's Day or a random Tuesday in the middle of the year, right? Okay, so when your brain chemistry is going in that place of love and acceptance and joy and all those good feeling vibes that happen around the holiday, it actually helps you physically and emotionally because you're being flooded with all these chemicals. Now, you have the power to create those chemicals for yourself. So let's do a little review. DOSE is the acronym, DOSE, and it stands for dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Now, these are all the chemicals behind those love vibes that you have, the love vibes that you feel, those feel good experiences that you create within yourself. They're all chemical based. And you have the power to help ignite those chemicals for yourself. So let's get a kind of overview of what each one does. Okay, so dopamine is in charge of the little happy feelings, that kind of sense of anticipation. It also is linked to instant gratification, which is why on cell phones, you're getting little shots of dopamine every time you swipe through Instagram, every time you swipe through anything. You're getting those little happy vibes, right? And it's all chemical based. Um, It is also linked to moving you forward and the fleeting thoughts of feeling really good in a moment, right? So that's dopamine. Now, oxytocin is in charge of feeling valued, appreciated. It's also involved with social interactions, empathy, trust, feeling bonded and close to another person, friendship. It is actually linked to those longer lasting feelings in a relationship. And it has a sense of calm attached to it. And having those chemicals wash over your brain boosts your immune system, right? So that's oxytocin. Now, serotonin is in charge of your feel good mood, pride, loyalty, accomplishment, recognition from others and for others. It actually also, this is an interesting one, it builds up two sides of the social dynamic. So the one in the research that I was doing, the one that they gave was a leader and their followers. So the leader gets that serotonin from being a leader, and the followers get the boost of serotonin from feeling like they're doing a good job following. And it's very similar with parents, that dynamic with parents and with children, and any kind of any kind of dynamic where you have two people coming in, one is kind of leading the way and the other is doing a good job at following and being part of that whole, right? And then the last one is endorphins. Now, endorphins are a little bit different. They're in charge of masking pain and discomfort in your body, and they're released as a pain response. That's why exercise always helps you feel better. You hear about the runner's high, or if you're feeling anxiety or depression, one of the things that doctors always say to do is go out and walk. Because when you walk, you're actually releasing endorphins, which help you feel better, which help that pain response within you. It's also linked to like belly laughing. You feel so good and kind of euphoric after a good belly laugh because you've contracted all those muscles, and the endorphins go out in response to that, right? And you can also engage in that with by taking a cold shower in the morning. Little bits of pain. It doesn't have to be like dramatic. You're being chased by a lion or something. That's how it evolved. But you can do little things too to get those endorphins flowing, right? So now I want you to keep all this in mind when you're taking back Valentine's Day and you're deciding how you want to focus your attention and where you want to go for yourself for the day. Now, you have the power to activate all of these chemicals in your brain without relying on any external sources or relying on anybody else. It all comes down to where you focus your attention. So, my suggestion is get creative and give the love that you want to receive. Because in giving the love that you want to receive, you will actually biologically and physically benefit as much as you would if you were receiving it yourself, right? So, the process of creating things, some sort of expression of love, right? The actual creation process is going to activate dopamine. Focusing on the sentiment that you've woven through it, focusing on all those feel good things that you have, oxytocin. Activating, let's see, the action of actually giving it to the person. It is what creates the serotonin for you. And then if you want the endorphins, you're actually going to have to walk over and give it to them or do a good belly laugh after they've received it. Actually, physically creating some sort of action for yourself. And I will say that I love doing things for people around the holiday. And this year I was very, very focused and conscious. I usually do a Christmas card at Christmas and then a day of love card around Valentine's Day. And this year I really did it for the younger kids in my life and just a couple of my friends rather than my entire Christmas card list. But I really paid attention to the joy that I was feeling in making the cards. I actually handmade everything this year because I needed more of that boost, right? That boost of dopamine. It was fun. I used glitter. It was amazing. And I actually hand wrote a note and visualized the person as I was doing it. And that oxytocin, right? And then the actual act of putting the stamp on and making sure that I could send it to them, that was the serotonin. It was that bonded connection, that dynamic of that we have created together, right? Serotonin. And then I actually made my husband go on a walk with me for a mile instead of driving to drop it off. We walked all the way to the post box and dropped them in and walked back on a nice cold night. And it really did activate all of those chemicals for me. And it was amazing, right? So you have the power to make it whatever it is you want it to be. And that's really the takeaway that I want you to have from today's video. I want you to know that you have a choice, that you have the power to focus where you want to focus, and that it is going to be whatever it is that you focus on. Valentine's Day will be whatever it is you focus on, and you have the power to make it incredible. I also want you to know that you have the power to really change your chemical response to the day. It can be positive and filled with joy and radiating with love if that's where you come at it from, right? Now, you always have a Valentine in me. I am always here for you. You can always reach out on any of these videos, comment to me. You can DM me from any of my social media platforms. You can sign up and get my weekly emails and email me. You can you can reach out to me in any way, shape, or form from the website, anywhere. I am here to love you and show you heart centered solutions for any point of view that you may be experiencing, right? You're not alone. And I see you, I value you. I think that your unique seat at the table of humanity is freaking amazing. And I want you to be living into the fullest, most joy filled place of possibility that you can. And so I am sending you so much love. Now let's see if we have any questions. Okay, single. I'm single and left out, and my friends aren't around because of COVID. Do you have any suggestions for me? Okay, I would say create some sort of mail like I did. Get creative, cut out paper, use your hands, get into it, and express the love that you wish that you could get as a single person, right? You've got a lot of love relationships, friends, family, whatever. You can activate that love for yourself. Don't sit around and wait for it, right? And I also suggest I'll put a link into the description of this video. I did a video last week where we talked about self love, physical, emotional, and mental self love. And there are a lot of great things that you can do from that video on Valentine's Day to really make that day feel juicy and full and exciting for you. So I will put those links in there. If you have any other questions about how to do that, keep commenting. Okay, my husband and I don't know what to do to make the day feel special because of quarantine. What do you suggest? Okay, I get it. My husband and I are in the same boat. I would suggest doing things that are fun. It doesn't all have to be romantic. Remember, work on thinking about how to activate all those different um, dose chemicals that go through your brain. Get outside, take a walk. If it's too cold, like figure out a way for you to do something that activates those chemicals. So do something new, go to a new place, play a new game. One of the things that I always suggest for people is write down your 10 favorite things about the other person. And then over dinner or dessert or whatever, read it to them. That'll activate oxytocin, serotonin. Just figure out a way to have fun with each other in a new way. And you can't go wrong, because if that energy is there and if you're activating all those chemicals for yourself and your partner, then it's really a win-win. And yes, it may look different, it may not be as big, but it'll be amazing because it's set with that intention. Okay, I think that's all. I am sending you so much love this Valentine's Day and all of the days. I am here if you need anything, and tell me some of your favorite things that you like about the day that you've chosen, that you've recreated for yourself, that you've taken back. And until next week, know that I am sending you so much love and holding you in a space where love is flowing right into your life. I'll talk to you soon.